Howdy class! Today we will be learning how to graph a line using intercepts. But to do this, we first must know what an intercept is. An intercept is where a graph crosses the x and y axis. On the picture I have provided you, you can see the intercepts are located in the correct way to write them. The y-intercept is written as parentheses, 0, comma, y, and another parenthesis. Then the x-intercept is written almost opposite as parenthesis x, comma, 0, and another parenthesis. Now let's try to solve for some intercepts. We are going to use the equation of 3x minus 6 equals y. First, we make a t-chart with one column being x and the other y. Now we add zeros, one in each column. Remember when I mentioned how the intercepts are written in an almost opposite form? That is why we have a 0 represented once in each column. Let's start with finding the x-intercept. To do this, we set y to equal 0. So, in our original equation of 3x minus 6 equals y, we have y equal to 0, which changes the equation into 3x minus 6 equals 0. Now we try to get x on one side of the equation and the numbers on the other side of the equal sign. To do this, we add 6 to both sides. So negative 6 plus 6 cancels out and 0 plus 6 equals 6. We now have an equation of 3x equals 6. We still have numbers on both sides, so it's time to take another step. That means we need to divide 3 from both sides. So 3x divided by 3 equals 1x or just x. And 6 divided by 3 equals 2. We have now successfully solved for x, which equals 2. That means that when y equals 0, x equals 2. So let's plug that into our t-chart. So where the y column has a 0, the x column in that row should have a 2. Now let's solve for our y-intercept. To do this, we set x equal to 0, like we did with y earlier. So, in our original equation of 3x minus 6 equals y, we now have x equal to 0, which changes the equation into 3 times 0 minus 6 equals y. Now let's solve. First, we multiply 3 times 0, which equals 0. We are left with 0 minus 6 equals y. Next, we minus 6 from 0, which leaves us with negative 6 equal to y. So let's plug that into our t-chart. So where the x column has a 0, the y column in that row should have a negative 6. Now we can graph. To do this, we take the points from our t-chart and plot them on a graph. These points are written as parenthesis 2, comma 0 parenthesis, and parenthesis 0, comma 6 parenthesis. These are our intercepts. So let's plot them on our graph. This is the easy part because we have already covered plotting points on a graph. So after plotting, just add a straight line between the 2 points, and you have successfully graphed a line using intercepts. Now let's try some exercises on your own.